Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tales of Fae and Folklore. Lately, I've been thinking about all of the legends and folktales that include human-animal hybrids. I wonder what possessed people to create such beings. Did they see something that made them think an animal had human qualities, or a human had animal qualities? Or are people simply that creative? There are countless stories containing hybrids. There are mermaids, centaurs, fauns, snake women like Medusa from Greek mythology, or the white snake from Chinese lore. There's Krampus, satyrs, harpies. There are carvings and sculptures all over the world of humans with wings, or Egyptian gods like Anubis, who have the head of a dog. It is strange, but fascinating. I've picked 3 stories for today's episode that revolve around hybrids. The Minotaur and the Labyrinth. This story comes from Greek mythology. King Minos of Crete was praying and making a sacrifice to the god Poseidon. He prayed that Poseidon would send him a bull from the sea for him to sacrifice in the god's honor. Poseidon listens and sends him a magnificent white bull. King Minos is overjoyed that the god heard him, but decides not to sacrifice the bull as promised. He wanted to keep it as a sign of the gods favoring him as king. King Minos sacrifices another bull instead, thinking he could trick the god of the sea. Poseidon is angered by his arrogance, so as punishment, he makes King Minos' wife the queen lust after the white bull. Some stories say that Aphrodite, the goddess of love, had a hand in this as well. King Minos' wife becomes impregnated by her mating with the bull. The queen gives birth to a male who had the body of a man and the head of a bull. She named him Asterion, which means starry one. As Asterion grew older, he became more violent and started to eat people. He became known as the monstrous Minotaur, meaning Minos' bull. King Minos goes to Daedalus and Icarus and asks them to build a huge underground labyrinth in which to trap his wife's son. Asterion is trapped underground, unable to escape the elaborate maze, his roars of anger and frustration shaking the ground above. As a political tactic and to feed the Minotaur, sacrifices from Athens were sent into the labyrinth, never to return. That is until the brave hero Theseus offers himself up to enter the Minotaur's labyrinth in hopes of defeating the monster. Now, King Minos' daughter, Ariadne, loves Theseus and can't bear to have him killed by her half-brother. So she goes to Daedalus to ask for some way to help. He advises her to give a large ball of red string to Theseus. He is to tie the string to the door and bring it with him, so he can find his way out of the maze if he is victorious. Ariadne does this just before Theseus enters the maze. He does what she advises, and through the twists and turns of the terrifying maze, eventually finds the Minotaur and slays him, coming back the victorious hero. These stories all have some reasoning behind them that stem from truth. Some say Crete had a large amount of earthquakes, and the shaking of the ground was explained as the roaring of the Minotaur trying to escape the maze of the labyrinth underground. The next story also has roots in Greek mythology and involves the god Pan. Pan is said to be the offspring of the god Hermes and the nature nymph. He is a pastoral god living in the mountains and forests. He has the legs of a goat and the upper body of a man with horns coming from his head. His powers are associated with music. Once, Pan fell in love with a water nymph named Syrinx. She was the daughter of the river god Ladons. Syrinx was not interested in Pan's advances or affections, so she asked Zeus for help in escaping him. One day, as she ran from Pan, Zeus suddenly turned Syrinx into reeds. Pan was heartbroken and furious, smashing the reeds with his fists. He was devastated to lose Syrinx and began to cry into the reeds. Upon doing so, he discovered that the sound of his breath on the reeds made a lovely sound and made them into a musical instrument. Pan is often associated with Dionysus, the god of wine, agriculture, the arts, and fertility. Associated in a way that they hung out in the same crowd. Honestly, why wouldn't he? Dionysus sounds like he would throw the best parties with his ritual intoxication, dancing, wild ecstasy-filled gatherings, and Pan's affinity to chasing nymphs. They sound like a likely pair. The last story is from Native American legend, the Deer Woman, or Deer Lady. She is a deer spirit that is often associated with love, fertility, and the protection of children. She is seen in many forms, as a deer, as a woman, or as a combination of both, a beautiful woman with deer antlers and hooves. As with most, the Deer Lady has a light side and a dark side. She will seduce adulterous, woman-crazy men and lead them to their death, trampling them with her hooves. She is also used as a sort of boogeyman for naughty children. I heard a story about the Deer Woman from a collection of Lakota stories from the Lakota Way. A young man who was a good hunter, strong, handsome, and wise, was warned by his grandmother that one day when he is out hunting, he might encounter a beautiful woman. This woman is the Deer Woman. The grandmother warns him not to fall victim to her charms. She will try to seduce you, and if you give in, you will find pleasure, but she will leave you soon after, and she will steal your soul. You will live, but it will be a half-life, and you will never be whole again, she says. When that young man was a bit older, he goes out hunting. Through the trees, he sees a beautiful deer, the most beautiful he had ever seen. He readies his bow, only to see that the deer is gone and a woman is standing in its place, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. And behind her is a cottage where there wasn't one only a minute ago. She smiles at him and speaks softly, asking him to come to her cottage where he will find comfort. The man wants to go, but he remembers his grandmother's warning, and his respect for her wisdom helps him resist the beautiful woman. He politely refuses her, and her beautiful smile turns into a hideous sneer. Her antlers return, and she readies herself to charge at him, taking out her rage. The man grabs his bow to shoot, only to find she has run off through the trees. He returns to his village and eventually marries and lives a full life with his soul intact. respected by his people for his wisdom. This story is quite lovely. I love how much he respected his grandmother. I'm also struck with how similar this story is to the Celtic Lánanshi, the fairy seductress who steals the soul and love of artistic men. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I really enjoyed the research aspect of this episode. There are so many stories with human-animal hybrids, and I hope to do more in the future. Until next time, this has been Selena with Tales of Fae and Folklore.